Hey Siri, define creative. Well, apparently, Siri doesn't know what creativity is. So let's spend a little time today defining creativity and looking at it from a perspective that may be different than you've ever really considered. And maybe, just maybe, it'll give you a new outlook on your creative abilities. So I've got some goals in my life. One is to create, another is to help those who create to create well. And yet another one is to build a culture of creativity that encourages and develops the creative abilities in everyone. That's what this is all about. That's what the purpose behind what we're doing here is all about. So let's define creative. Let's take some definitions out of the dictionary and put them in front of us. So there are three words to define: create, creative, and creativity. The word create is a verb. It means to bring into existence, to invest in a new form, office, or rank, to produce or bring about by a course of action or behavior, to produce through imaginative skill, to make or bring into existence something new. The word creative is an adjective that means to be marked by the ability or power to create, having the quality of something created rather than imitated. Creative can also be used as a noun, meaning one who is creative. And the last word is creativity, which is a noun that means the ability to create, the quality of being creative. So those are the definitions, but it's really more than that for me. For me, it has to do with my faith. I believe that the God of the universe created us in his image, and because he is a creator God, he has created us to be creative. We are by nature creative because of that. God has created things in magnitudes that we can only dream about. He's created the infinite, unfathomable intricacies of the universe to simple things like a drop of water. He creates systems of order like physics and math and language and biology. He's also created natural phenomena that seem like utter chaos, like fire and fusion or tornadoes and hurricanes. He creates in ways that we simply can't create. But because we're made in his image, we've been given license to create as well. And we do that in all kinds of ways, even ways that are not considered by most people to be creative. We create families and friendships, businesses and buildings, ships and airplanes, automobiles and computers, and literally everything that is around us. Every day we create in some way. Someone has put their hands to it and creates it. And of course, there are the things of an artistically creative nature as well. So music and stories, literature and film, artwork in all of its different forms. We create those things as well. In essence, when we're talking about people, there should be no distinction between creative and non-creative. For me, non-creatives simply don't exist. What does exist is your God-given skills, abilities, and talents that you've been given for different reasons, for different purposes. Now, some people have been given skills, abilities, and talents in ways that are historically and culturally considered artistically creative. But art and creativity are not the same thing. Art is simply one expression of creativity. In our culture, we've been told a lie for years that only artistically creative people are truly creatives. Now, I disagree with that with all my heart, because some people are creative in ways that are more in keeping with systems and order. You know, the practical things of life. So we need to also understand that those people are equally creative. So I'm saying that there should be no predisposition that art is more creative than construction of a building, or music more creative than, I don't know, a business deal. Each is an opportunity to use the creativity that you've been given in a way that works within the skills, abilities, and talents that you have. The non-artistic creative, like the mechanic or accountant, homemaker, or barista, mailman, or CEO, they're all creatives, even though they don't necessarily do anything intrinsically artistically creative in their lives, but they are still creative. So let's define creativity in a little bit more practical way. Now, this is the way I like to think about it. So you've got the skills, abilities, and talents that you've been given, and you've nurtured and grown those. You've gained wisdom and knowledge in those things over the years. Then you're presented with a problem that those skills, abilities, and talents may be able to solve. So that merging of those God-given things with a problem is the process of creativity. So let me give you some examples. The problem for the painter is the blank canvas. The problem for the car mechanic is the car that won't start. The problem for the songwriter is the silence that he's compelled to fill with something new. And the problem for the doctor is the patient that needs his help. So in life, there are all these problems, and there are all these people with skills, abilities, and talents. And when they meet, we see creativity happening all around us all the time. Now, I think there are some things that we need to note about creativity. One, our creative proficiency is a direct result of our level of skill, wisdom, knowledge, and ability that we have. So you have to work at it. Now, sometimes there are people that just have a natural ability to do a thing. Other times, there are people that have to hit the woodshed and work hard in developing those skills, abilities, and talents. Another thing to consider is that your desire to create does not really give you the ability or even the opportunity to create at super high levels. Creating anything should be fundamentally done just for the sake of creating. You need to be aware that you may never have the opportunity to create at a level that you dream about. And man, that's okay. If you're passionate about what you're doing creatively, you should do it regardless of your success with it. Do it simply for the joy of doing the work and be all about that joy. Creativity is also an inclusive thing. It's not an exclusive thing. Whatever your creative passion is, there's a group or a community that is passionate about the same things. You should want to be a part of those communities. Now, you may not need to be a part of the entire community, but you should embrace the part of the community that lines up with what you're creating and at the level you're creating today. You should also seek out the opportunities to engage in community with people that may be more advanced than you, in community with people who will come alongside of you and help you develop your skills, abilities, and talents. So creativity is by its very nature a shared thing, done because of the necessity of it or just the joy of it. Now, creativity is not always about making something from nothing or making something that is completely brand new. In the definitions we talked about earlier, it said something about producing something, but not necessarily something new. So often we use creativity to manipulate something that's existing, to expand its use, to meet a need, or something that is just, something that just needs to be done for the fun of doing it. So creativity isn't always about something new, but what creativity is always about is bringing glory. Now, that may seem a little weird to you, but I believe that we either bring glory to ourselves in the things that we do and the things that we create, or we bring glory to God in the things that we do and the things that we create. If we do things for our own glory, I guarantee those things will be forgotten. Remember that there is a very small percentage of people that have ever existed that we know anything about what they thought or what they created. So in the context of history, everything we do will fade away, and the glory that we receive for it ourselves dies with us. But if we create for God's glory, if we do anything for God's glory, those things are eternal. Now, I'm not saying that we will be remembered for eternity, but when we create for God's glory, we have done something that is for the glory that is due Him and not us, because He created us to create. Great creativity is about selflessness, not selfishness. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the negative side of creativity, the dark side, if you will, of creativity. There is no joy, no life, no intrinsic value in creating anything dark or evil. If we look at history, it's replete with accounts of people doing the most atrocious things in the most creative ways to kill, maim, and destroy. If we simply look at the morally objectionable or morally offensive things in our culture, for instance, porn, there's nothing worthwhile in anything like that. Any of that kind of creativity. It doesn't build up. It doesn't bring joy. It doesn't show love. It has no positive value for you or for your community. Any type of negative, evil, or dark creativity simply destroys, and things that destroy by their very nature cannot be truly creative. And we are all created to create. So I think I've made it abundantly clear that I believe that we are all creatives, every single one of us. We've been given skills, abilities, and talents, and with those gifts, we use them to be creative. So this week, I want to encourage you to take those skills, abilities, and talents that you've been given through wisdom and knowledge you've grown, nurtured, and worked on in that woodshed, and apply them to a problem. Create something for the simple joy of creating. Whether it's a new song, a business deal, a story, or a new friendship, go out and create something amazing. And if you have the opportunity to help somebody else create, man, I encourage you to do that. Even if you can just go out and encourage somebody in their creativity, that would be amazing. So you are created to create. And that's so important to remember. But you've also been blessed with that creativity to be a blessing to others. So as we end today, I want to encourage you to go, create, and be a blessing. You can support our channel by subscribing, hitting that bell icon to get notified when new content comes out, and liking our videos. If you'd like to consider supporting our team financially, there's a link in the video description with more details. Those things will help our channel for sure, but if you do nothing else, please spend some time in the comments of our videos encouraging one another to create, to help others create, and to help grow that creative nature within us all. Oh, and you can check out these videos too. Thanks. We'll see you again soon.